Hi, everyone. My name is Paul Stepnowski. It is my honor and privilege to speak to you today on behalf of Megan Vergao, who is being honored with the John Paul Stevens Guiding Hand of Counsel Award. I came to work with Megan somewhat by accident and somewhat by chance. I decided to say yes to an email blast where she was looking for help on one pro bono project. I thought I would be helping out for a few hours a week. This was before I knew much about the details, or the case, or Megan's dedication. And as they say, the rest is history. What I thought was one case turned into two. What I thought was one brief turned into many. I am very fortunate for that.
On Saturday, November 21st, 2015, Megan and I sat next to each other in DC's 18th Street Lounge. We didn't really know each other, although we met briefly before. We were celebrating the promotion and tenure of a mutual friend. We engaged in some chit-chat, the what you doing now stuff typical of these types of encounters. She told me that she was at O'Melveny and then asked what I did, and I mentioned that I was active in the Capitol defense community. She put her drink down and said, "Reach out if I can help." I told her to be careful because I follow up, and I laughed it off. Now, I don't know how many times I've had that conversation, and the result has been an unreturned message or email, or a pained response explaining that the firm can't make it work because of bad PR, or they cannot make it work because of the need to steer associate hours elsewhere. They cannot make it work because the partner really wants to help, but just can't otherwise secure institutional support. But when I called Megan with the Texas death penalty case in desperate need of help, she answered and then took the case. And then she came through when our clients needed it again, and then again.
Megan Vergao is a brilliant attorney and an unparalleled role model. It has been my honor to work under her direction for the last several years, seeking to lift the death sentence of our intellectually disabled client. And it is an honor to recognize her tireless advocacy in capital cases and to celebrate her achievements for these clients today. As is the case with all capital cases, our work together is an uphill battle. Our client should never have received his death sentence, but the legal system was built to enforce that sentence, even where wrongly imposed. Yet Megan did not hesitate to take on this challenge, and she does not waver in her representation.
Megan's kindness and compassion, as well as her sense of fairness and justice, is a part of her excellent writing, her discussions with her clients, and the leadership of her teams.
She came through when our clients needed help in the Supreme Court and came through when they needed help in proceedings that nobody would ever know about. She came through when our clients needed speed and when they needed skill and when they needed resources. To do what Megan does requires commitment, and it requires institutional savvy, and it requires aptitude. Across my 15 years of experience in this space, Megan's commitment to capital punishment work is on par with those of our very strongest allies in the private bar. Her institutional instincts are in many respects without equal. She directs massive human and financial resources to our clients, but ensures the firm remains receptive to ongoing requests from our community.
She is simply tireless. Her strategy is always astute, and her work ethic is unmatched. In the midst of trial, during which she was extraordinarily ill, unfortunately, she was nonetheless able to pass an endless stream of brilliant Post-it notes across counsel's table at a moment's notice. There is no one better at counsel's table. In the midst of stress and questionable tactics from the other side, she taught her team to remain unflappable. She taught her team how to show respect for a victim's family and yet remain steadfast in our representation. She taught her team how to see the humanity in her clients, to show them compassion when few have, and to handle the emotional complexity of the case with incredible poise. She has taught me how to strive to be a thoughtful mentor to make everyone on the team feel valued and important. Finally, she has taught her team how to fight for a client who some think is unworthy of the services of a big law firm. Indeed, some question why a firm's vast resources would be marshaled in support of someone who made such a big mistake. But she has taught our team that that is precisely why we should fight for him, with no less energy and devotion than if the fate of the firm's most important paying client rested in our hands.
She is one of the 3 or 4 most talented lawyers that I have ever encountered, period. We all know that we do our work as a community, and different people in that community have different roles, and we're all better for Megan's presence in it.
I am lucky to consider her a mentor and friend. Congratulations, Megan, on this much-deserved award.
Thank you, Megan, for the opportunity to learn from you and to represent our client together. and congratulations on your well-deserved recognition.
Thank you very much to the ABA Death Penalty Representation Project for this great honor. I was really surprised to get this award, candidly, because I've seen a lot of terrific capital practitioners in action, and I can tell you I'm pretty early on the learning curve when it comes to these cases. I also feel like I've only just begun my contribution to this area, or at least that there's so much left to do that what little I've done seems pitiable. But I thank you at any rate, and I'm grateful for this encouragement to keep at it. I'd like to use this time to give credit where it's really due, to the experienced capital attorneys who've shared their wisdom with me over the years, as well as the O'Melveny teams who've labored to obtain justice for our clients. 20 years ago, when I was a law student, I saw Bryan Stevenson speak, and his words hit me in the gut. The next summer, I was living in Montgomery, Alabama, following Kathleen Price around like a puppy, and watching Bryan argue Anthony Ray Hinton's innocence to an Alabama state court. It took another dozen years for Mr. Hinton to be released, by the way, a reminder that this work is as much about tenacity as it is about being right. In recent years, I've been fortunate to work alongside experienced practitioners who've mastered the law and the best ways to navigate through it. People like Lee Kowarski, Sherry Lynn Johnson, Jared Tyler, Alicia Amezcua Rodriguez, Kate Black, not to mention Kelly Heller, and the investigators we've worked with at Texas Defender Service. They bring incomparable knowledge and strategic thinking to our cases. They've kept me from making stupid mistakes countless times, mistakes graver even than discussing the constitutional deficiency of state habeas counsel. I have personally grown as a lawyer in our collaborations, and I'm indebted to them for their patience and commitment to our work together. At O'Melveny, our capital cases are sustained by the dedication of our attorneys and the steadfast support of the firm. Lawyers like Paul Stepnowski and Megan Hafstad have led huge teams that have worked around the clock to investigate habeas claims, craft Supreme Court briefs, and try Atkins applications. These lawyers are enormously talented, but they're also simply willing to put in the long, difficult, all-consuming work that a capital representation requires. The capital teams I've been a part of here have spent tens of thousands of hours on our cases. It's an extraordinary achievement and a credit to O'Melveny, which has not blanked when I've come asking for time, as well as financial support for our work. Our clients are human beings whose humanity is being denied. They are invariably sentenced to death in an imperfect system, a system that is capable of ensnaring the innocent, a system that can mete out death sentences based on the quality of the representation received, a system that brings into sharp relief the biases, prejudices, and racial and economic inequities that pervade our society as a whole. I am called to this work because I believe lawyering can make a difference in that system. It's not a complete solution, but it is a necessary part of achieving justice. James Baldwin famously said, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." We face our imperfect system in hopes of transforming it into something just and fair. Thanks to the ABA for standing with us.